And we're live. Checking. Let me know if things sound okay to you. I'm gonna check on my end as well, just to make sure. Hello, Morgith. Thanks for coming. Happy Wednesday. I'm happy to be here. I am happy to be streaming. It's been a while. We got a Micah cameo already. So early. Yes, like I was saying, I'm happy to be here. I haven't done a live stream in a while, so I feel like I have a lot to catch up on. I feel like I haven't had much time to even process the past month or so that has passed since my last stream. It's been very go. Spring has sprung. Maybe even a bit too soon, but I feel like I was woken up out of hibernation a bit early this year, but I'm okay with that. I'm just still waiting for people to join. And while we wait, I'm just going to check on my stream. 1 second. Okay, cool. We're good. So my main reason for hopping on today, well, it's to kind of catch up on everything. It's to talk about my new song that I just released. It is the first single of, as I've announced online, of the first single of a new era for Vitesse X. And I wanted to kind of make that definitive statement because I think as an artist, you put out your first album, people kind of get attached to maybe a sound, a vibe, and I think everything I do is always going to live within the Vitesse X universe, but sonically, I wanted to kind of tap into something that is very at my core, at my roots, and which is the indie sound, the indie dream pop sound that kind of inspired me to keep going as a musician and to explore what a career as a musician would look like. So that was like, back in 2012, 2013, the whole captured tracks scene, that stuff really inspired me. And so that sound has always been very much a part of me. And I strayed away from it for a long time because electronic music, dance music had kind of become my new identity. But now I'm trying to merge those two identities. I feel like it's important to kind of embrace every aspect of yourself and every aspect of your sonic self. So that's what I'm doing with this album. I'm trying to kind of bring in that dream pop sound, and I shouldn't say album. I haven't officially announced an album yet, but all the new music to come at the very least. I'm just trying to bridge the gap between a lot of these sounds that are a part of me. So I'm excited to finally have that first track out. Hey guys, I'm rambling away. Getting started early. Just let the ramble flow. Hey, Heaven Sample. Hey, James Mincy. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, that era of captured tracks. Yeah, Craftsfells. Yeah, you know your stuff. That was like a big, huge inspiration for me. Wow, the upstairs neighbors are really making noise today. And I even made on my vision board back in 2013. I had just a list of things that I was imagining for myself. And one of them was to be in a captured tracks band. That was a big one for me. So it was really something I admired and put on a pedestal. And so, yeah, and that never really left me. And it's cool because a lot of those people that were on that label that inspired me so much are now, a lot of them are my friends. And I've even collabed with a lot of them, actually. So it's cool. It's cool to like kind of see that progression. Hello, your wife's boyfriend. Welcome. Interesting choice for a username, but I like it. Thank you. Hey, Brendan T. Welcome. I can keep rambling away about anything and everything, but feel free to ask me questions. I guess if you're just joining, I'll just kind of say it again. I put out a new song today. It's called Realize, and I also put out a new music video to go along with it. And so I wanted to hop on the stream to talk a little bit about it and also share the music video with you guys if you haven't seen it yet, and like talk about kind of what went on behind the process of both making the song and the music video. Lots of stories to tell, and it's kind of crazy because I actually wrote this song a while back now, and it's really just kind of flew out of me. I was not writing any style of music at all like this song. So it's interesting how like there is a consciousness of its own that kind of happens when you're making music. And this song just kind of came out, and just within a day too. Like normally songs for me can take a more tedious amount of time, but this song was just like in a day I wrote it, and I wasn't really like restricting myself. I wasn't like, oh, this is too poppy or this is a little too cute. I was just rolling with it. And it definitely has a punch. And I think that's kind of like what I was feeling at the time. I was just kind of like in a kind of like angsty, fed up state of mind. And so I think that's kind of like how this track transpired. And I wrote it over a year ago around the winter time. There's a lot of transitioning happening in my life, and I think instead of like hitting a punching bag, I just wrote this song instead. And I tucked it away for a while, but I always kind of like kept it in my pocket as like, okay, this is going to be the pop song that I'm going to put out with my next record. The funny thing is, I was originally planning to drop this song on another album I'm working on, and that album is so entirely different sonically to this song. It's like very, it's dark, atmospheric, doesn't really have as much of that dream pop angle to it, and so I thought it was going to be kind of like the pop song on that record, but as time went on, it just became more and more and more of an outlier. And then I got to the point where I was writing more songs like this one, and then I started realizing, okay, this is like a whole different universe, I guess, that is creating itself in front of me. And it seems that the dream pop side of me really seems to want to come out. It has something to say, and it feels like it's a lot more relevant to what I need to say right now in this moment in time. And so this song in particular is just like, that's what started it all, and what you'll be seeing in the next few months of all the new music I have to come. So, it's like you don't really have a whole lot of say in this stuff. It's like there really is, it's almost like it's its own entity with its own mind, and it just kind of like bosses me around and tells me, okay, nope, you're going in this direction. You're going to write this kind of music now. And so, I was just like, okay, let's go with it. And I'm really happy about it. I think it's allowing me to embrace some sides of myself sonically and even emotionally that I wasn't really maybe able to tap into up until now. So that's cool. Let it flow. Yes. How was it working with George Albright? Do you approach production differently if you know you're going to have someone else mix it versus going into it knowing you'll do it yourself? I typically really, really like to send as much as I can out for mixing. It's not that I can't mix things myself, but I really, really like having an extra set of ears on what I'm working on. I like to compare it to, I don't know if you have ever experienced, I know there's a word for it, but when you look at a word, like if you're reading a word over and over and over, it starts to not look like that word that you're used to. It starts to just look different to you. There's a weird psychological response to like that type of repetition. Your brain starts seeing it from a different angle. And so I always feel that is kind of what happens to me when I'm working with a song for too long. It starts to get to the point where it doesn't sound like music after a certain amount of time. And it's, you kind of get attached to maybe certain elements, little embellishments here and there. And it's really hard to be objective with your own music. Really hard. Impossible. I mean, it's, that's what music is. It's a very personal thing. So I like having the sort of like finishing touch to it in someone else's hands where they can kind of perceive it in the way that the listener will be perceiving it. And so that it can maybe resonate a little bit more clearly. So for me, I always have in mind that it will be sent out for mixing, unless it's like a remix I do or something where I just want it to be kind of quick and free flowing and just quick from me to the listener type of thing. But with stuff like this, I want my music to resonate as much as possible. I want to honor the song. I want to honor the message and the vibe as much as possible. So to me, going to a mixing engineer is how I do that. And also a mastering engineer as well. So yeah, George is, he is a legend for a reason. People say great things about him for a reason. He really spiced this track up a lot. He gave it that nice punch that it needed. And those ARPy sounds, that synth, it's kind of like a chopped up ARP actually. I went in and just like, it was like almost a little bit off rhythm, and not in a good way. So I kind of like chopped it up a little bit. And so it's like an ARP spliced up is that kind of like wonky sound in the track. And I had it lower in the mix. I had more of like the ethereal vocals going on. So that was kind of what was standing in the forefront before I sent it to him. And then he sent it back with that ARP really up front, just kind of like gnarly. And it was like a little jarring at first because I was like, damn, this is intense. But I sat with it for a while and I was like, no, this actually makes a lot of sense for the track. I'm going to keep it like this. So yeah, he's really good at adding that nice punch for sure. So yeah, that's kind of the brief workflow that I have with my mixing engineers. I'll kind of go back and forth a few times, but I try to cap it, because at a certain point, if you're going back and forth too much, it kind of shows a lack of trust in the objectiveness that they have. I want to trust the engineer enough where, I can kind of back away and just trust that they're doing the right thing. Because your ears are like so used to how your current mix sounds, it really, really, it distorts things severely. So I always know that about myself. So when I send stuff to a mixing engineer and I get it back for the first round, it always, to me, it sounds like destruction. It sounds horrible. It's like, oh my God, what'd you do to my song? But I know that's irrational. And I like to kind of take a few days to let it sit in. And then over time, I'm like, okay, no, actually, this sounds better. And then months down the road, when I compare the two, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, of course, their mix was a whole lot better than mine. But it just takes time for your ears to really adjust and get used to it. Yeah. So. And, the lyrics to realize. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, when I wrote this track, I was just kind of going through my feels, just going through a lot of transitionary points in my life. I mean, it's so funny because I wrote this song at a pretty similar time, when I wrote, Ricochet. I don't know if you guys have heard that track, but that's like my breakcore, like really dark breakcore ethereal track. That's like obviously very dark. And it's funny that this song was written at a very similar time to that one, because maybe if you kind of like put them next to each other, they seem so different, but it's very similar emotions going through the two. And it's funny because I wrote both of those tracks very quickly as well. And it was a very like cathartic thing on both sides. I think with this one, there's just like a different message that maybe I was trying to send. So yeah, the lyrics, I think like throughout my time as a musician, I talked about this in my last stream. But it's hard being in the music industry, as it is a lot of industries where there's a lot of focus on being forward facing. There's a lot of focus on superficiality, all those things. And so I think like it's just kind of like sometimes culminates to a point where I just get really sick of it. I get sick of that superficial game. I get sick of the relationships that kind of get burned through that. And so this was kind of my way of just being like, just fuck that mindset. And if you read the lyrics, it's pretty much a song about narcissism. It's about a lack of self-awareness that I think I've encountered many times, where people are so desperately trying to seek fame and so desperately trying to achieve these momentary, fleeting moments of success that really don't heal anything deep within themselves. It's just like it's like a quick fix. And so I can see it from afar, and it's just kind of sad to me sometimes when I see people constantly striving for more and more and more and more and more. And the reality is, like, if they really just took the time to like maybe look inward instead of outward and try to heal some of these voids deep within them, they would actually feel more whole than trying to constantly be reaching for external gains at the expense of others, at the expense of relationships, all that stuff. It's just, we all see it. And especially in like a capitalist society, it's kind of embedded in the culture at times. So this song was just kind of like a fuck you to that mindset. And I think we all have pieces of that mindset within us too. So it's like not just a fuck you to like, any single person. It's more just like, I find myself maybe doing that at times too, and it pains me. So that's the general gist of that track, I would say. Yeah. So what more could I say? So I wrote the song in December of last year, roughly. And then I sat on it for a while. It was my first time also reaching out to other people to get opinions on a track that wasn't like completely finished yet, because so often before then I would really hide my music. I was so afraid to share stuff before it was fully formed, and so I did have like the gist of the track done in that one day, but there were things that maybe I was like a little bit uncertain of, so I sent the track out to a lot of different people just to get their thoughts on it for a while. But it's funny, I just ended up kind of like keeping it the same after I had some people like trying out different guitar parts that they would send to me, like different ideas. And I'm like, you know what? No, this song was supposed to be just like really short and sweet. And I think I was in my head for a while because I was like, the guitar part's so simple. Like it shouldn't be so simple. And that's what I was hung up about. But sometimes embracing the simplicity really gets the point across. So that's what this track is definitely representative of on a production level. Vitesse X is greater than Kendrick Lamar. Well, I don't think we're comparable. But thank you. Yeah, and feel free to ask me any questions if you've listened to the song. I'll be happy to answer. I also just I feel like the last time I did the stream, it was like over a month ago maybe. So just some catch up with what I've been up to. So I released a demo. If you didn't get a chance to hear it, this kind of is connected to this song because I was talking about my sonic youth. Look at that Freudian slip right there. My sonic roots being tied up in that sort of dream pop, shoegaze world. And I decided I really wanted to set the stage for like what was coming out in the future for me, and also kind of give a picture of what was kind of going on in my creative universe back in my early years. So I put out a demo that I had made with a former bandmate of mine so we wrote that song back in 2016. And it's so funny because there's so many parallels between this song and how I'm feeling, or how I was feeling when I wrote this song, and then also how I was feeling when I wrote that demo back in 2016. It's like some things never change, unfortunately. And I had a lot of these same grievances back then when I wrote that demo, just kind of playing in bands and dealing with some toxic egos, just a lot of self-serving behavior. And so because of that, I kind of removed myself from playing in bands, playing music altogether for a while. It's a very sad time. I just felt like I was not cut out for that game. I was not cut out to be a musician, honestly. I was like, okay, all these musicians around me playing on stages all seem, the reason that they're making it is because they're so into themselves and all this stuff. And I was like, well, that's not me. So I guess I'm not made for this. And so I took the back seat. It just started going back to school and stuff. And then one of my former bandmates reached out to me, and he was like, hey, I'm writing some shoegaze music. Would you want to collab with me on this one track? So that one song ended up being one of the only things I wrote during that time. And so lyrically, there was a lot of these similar themes coming out in the lyrics. I should probably link the song under this after this, but yeah, so it's cool. It's like there's a lot of sonic and thematic ties between this track and that demo, and I like how I was able to kind of organically release them back to back in that way. I feel like in a funny way, it's like I'm doing a continuation of this small universe that I had been creating back in 2016 that I never got to like really materialize and bring out into the world. So this is like my moment to finally do that with you guys. So that's really cool. It's been a funny, like, full circle month for me. It's like reconnecting with all these people from my past and like just sharing this story a lot. And it feels very healing. It feels like I'm going through some exposure therapy or something right now, and just like really having to confront aspects of my past, but also like in a just in a healthy way. So it's been very nice, and to share that with everyone, and because I think a lot of these types of stories are super relatable, and I want people to know, like, you know, everyone's made to be an artist. It's like an inherent God-given right for all of us. And so if I can save one other person from going that route where they just don't think it's for them, if I can save them from that, then sharing this story would be worth it to me. So yeah, that's the gist of why I decided to put out that demo. And it's a good song. I really like the song, and it never really gets to get on many ears. So that's cool. But I will answer some questions. Nicholas asked, I posted my story recently how I was struggling when recording vocals. Was that for an unreleased track? Yes. I have a lot of unreleased stuff right now, which all is kind of, I wouldn't say all is in this dream pop world. I have 2 records that I'm working on. So one is this dream pop styled record. And then I have another one that I've been working on for even longer, and I got sidetracked with this record. So that one's going to be more true to the electronic side of me. So, but yeah, the stuff I'm working on right now, I'm really, really working on finally wrapping up this record. I'm very close. But I have this problem where I'm like close to wrapping up one song, and then all of a sudden I have an idea for a new song. And so I'm kind of in this really positively unfortunate situation where I can't stop writing for this record, and then I also, on top of it, can't finish these tracks. So it's like, and it's feeling like a little down to the wire. So yeah, the stress is high for me. I create deadlines for myself. It's all self-imposed, but yeah, it's been a crazy month of just like locking myself in the studio as much as possible. And I mean, as it has been for the past few months, I really have not seen friends a whole lot. And so, but it's going to be worth it in the end. That's what I keep telling myself. Did I intend for the sped up driving parts and realize and nouns to tie them together visually? Yeah, I noticed that. I kind of wasn't, I don't think I had that in mind at all. Things like that happen, I guess. But yeah, so he's talking about how in the Nouns music video, there's like these moments where you're kind of like driving through the tunnel, driving through the city really fast, and it's a little bit like abstracted, and it's both on film, so it all has this grainy look, and that's both on the Nouns music video and the Realize music video. There are very similar moments with that. That was not really thought through. I think Chris, my partner, he recorded the video on Super 8 film for the Nouns music video, and we're both super inspired by shoegaze music, and I think visually to me, the best visual for shoegaze is driving it in the night with the lights kind of abstracted like that, and just feeling like kind of like you're in this cocoon of sound and light and darkness. And so those sped up driving shots really encompass that visually for me. I would say the same for Chris. So I think that's kind of like what naturally came out. And then it seemed to be the case for the Realize music video as well, although we didn't shoot that one. I worked with a director and a team of people. They go by Manran. Super awesome people to work with. And yeah, we just kind of had similar ideas, I guess. So, but that wasn't really planned, no. But it's funny you notice that, because I realized that after. I'm like, oh, these are very similar shots. Yeah. Have I had to scrap any material from recent projects? Yeah, I've kind of, I chip away a little bit. But I have a really hard time letting go of songs. When I start something, it's very hard for me to just kind of like throw it away in a demo bin and like never open it up. It happens from time to time, but I think for me, when I start working on something, I'm always seeing so much potential in it. I have a really hard time letting that potential go. Probably to a fault. I'm getting better at it, but that leads to me sometimes spending very, very long on a song that just isn't working. And it might be the case for months where a song's just not working. And then what'll happen is maybe it'll turn into something else that I'll use. But I have a very hard time just kind of like letting ideas fall away. I have to use them in some way. So I haven't scrapped much, especially from this record. There are a couple ideas from before this record even started that I was thinking about throwing it on there, and now that I keep coming up with new ideas, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't really need to do that. So yeah, I would say most of them have maintained themselves, which is cool. Who says that's called ADD? Yeah. How do I manage label management responsibilities alongside my artistic goals? Well, it is very much collaborative efforts. I think I find the aspects of running a business that I do well, because I'm running it alongside my partner, Chris. And I would say that we kind of find where we both just have the most know-how, what feels for me, because I also have a full-time job. So for me, I have to take on stuff that just like I can do well, and that I'm not going to like half-ass. So I kind of focus on those things. And to be honest, I think for me, it's more of like making sure that the vision is kind of being maintained, and that the community aspect of what we're doing is like the central point of what we're doing, and kind of just guiding that in that direction. So, yeah, you could call that like, A&R or whatever, but I do a lot of that aspect of it. And then Chris does a lot of the mad scientist, just brainy stuff. And he's very good at that. I don't know how much longer I should wait to play the music video. If you guys want to watch it with me now, I'm down to watch it. What do you think? There's a very long delay, so I'm going to take that as a yes. I'm going to take the silence as a yes, because I know it's not actually silence. But it does kind of feel, when you're doing these streams, because of the delay, it does kind of feel sometimes like you're standing on stage and everyone's just like staring at you blankly. not responding, it gives you that same kind of anxiety sometimes. Because I've been on stage where that has happened, and it's like, whew. I know that's not actually happening, but the delay doesn't really help my cause. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm seeing it. Cool. Okay, give me a sec. I'm going to mute my mic. Yay. Thank you. Thanks for all the nice words. Yeah, super happy with how the video turned out. It's great to finally have it out too. I shot this actually at the end of the summer last year. So I've been sitting on this one for a while. I have to do a big shout out to Manran for making this video happen. They are super awesome, brilliant artists, and shot all in film. It felt like, I felt like a fucking star. It was like doing the real movie deal. They had giant fucking camera and like, it was very pro. And, yeah, and we had to do a lot of it all in a single take because that film is not cheap. So We had to be very, very precious about every shot that we got. And then there's a lot I can say about like the production side of this video. It was really cool to be a part of it and actually kind of like see what goes on behind the scenes. But yeah, they're super professional, group of 3 people actually. So they're a very small team. We had other hands on deck for this. We had, gaffers, and we had the people that developed the film, coloring and all that. But Man Rana is a group of 3 people. And so, yeah, we got like the production call sheet and everything. They planned out. So for the theme of this video, I was trying to kind of convey my idea for the video, the themes of the video. Like I talked about, it's the concept behind the song is, just, it's kind of like my grievances with the society, based around sort of like narcissistic tendencies and all that. So I explained that to them. I explained kind of, because we weren't familiar with each other when we first met up. So, just kind of told them a little bit about like visually what Vitesse X, what that universe kind of conveys. And it's funny that someone mentioned in the chat, if I can find it, where did it go? Give me one sec. I feel like I missed it. I can't find it. Oh yeah, you said, Chris said, I'm crazy about the aged yet modern look of this vid. I love that you said that, because I think when I go to work with other artists, I like to explain how Vitesse X is basically, she's from the future, but it's kind of like she's been transported back into time, to, which is very similar to my music sonically. With everything I do artistically, I like to kind of merge the 2 extremes of things. And so I love to take elements of these nostalgic aspects of our sonic past and bridge it into something future, something new. And so I like to have the visual component of that match. So that's something I explained to them, and they nailed that to a T. They helped with all of the costume design and all that as well. So that crazy like silk gown I'm wearing, that's just like basically pinned on my back. So it gives like this futuristic look, but juxtaposed with the film look, it's pretty cool. So yeah, and then we had all these like blow up plastic chairs and beds, and just kind of like the theme of it was supposed to be, or the concept behind it was supposed to be, I'm trapped in this room, this narcissistic room, and I'm just flipping through pages of photos of myself. I guess you could say it's kind of like how we feel sometimes, and like when we're scrolling through social media and like we reject it, but at the same time we're still like giving into it. And so there's this like cognitive dissonance going on. But while she's in this room, her consciousness gets uploaded into the cyber cloud, and she's able to free herself into this new cyber universe, which is when you see her on the motorcycle. So I can talk about that too. I don't actually ride a motorcycle. I wish I did. That would be cool. That would be a flex. But I actually had a stunt double for this, which is funny to say. I actually had a stunt double. Her name is Kat. It worked out well. We both have long, straight brown hair. And so we were able to get the motorcycle shots with her on it. And yeah, super funny. I want to show some BTS photos, actually. It's not many. I try to upload more, but Streamlabs wasn't working properly for me. But yeah, that's the team. That's Manran. That's me on the motorcycle pretending, being a poser. That's my stunt double. If you saw it for a second, that's me giving the finger, because I was trying to get in the attitude for the song. That's a full team that helped me in the studio, I guess you could call it. But yeah, that's Kat. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, such a poser. Look at me, I'm such a poser. But they did so good. Such sweet people. I would recommend checking out their other videos and stuff too. They're really great. They actually did a music video for Couch Prince, who are on my label as well. But yeah, their vibe is very filmy, analog, and they work with a lot of indie artists, so it's super cool. But yeah, I guess I mentioned in my story that shooting this was it was a bit of a cursed situation, so I can divulge on that a little bit. So this night, there was 2 separate days for shooting. This night in particular, we chose really late. It was like, I think like 2 a.m. or something. It was like crazy late call time, because we wanted to, this is mostly for my stunt double, to get those shots of her on the motorcycle riding through the city. So we had to choose a time where there wasn't really much traffic. So the only good time was around 2 a.m. that era. So basically we get ready, we go, everything's looking good. As soon as we show up, because we stop at this gas station to just park up, there is a crazy thunderstorm. And so the majority of the night was sitting out this thunderstorm. We basically had to get the stunt double shots. So we had to get some shots of me standing with a motorcycle. So most of the stuff that I needed to do, I could just do really quick. We did some of it under the underpass that we're under here. You can kind of see it's like raining back there. I have some videos I can show you of the thunder in a second. But so we got the shots of me, even though we were kind of waiting out the rain most of the time. And then I couldn't wait around all night. And also when they were driving off, I couldn't even fit in their car. So I called it a night, but they had to keep going to shoot the motorcycle shots. So they wrapped around like 6 a.m. or something. I felt so bad. So seriously, kudos to them. They really showed a level of persistence and endurance that I admire. So I'll show you the lightning. It's crazy. But there's one shot in the music video. You can see the lightning strike behind me. It was just relentless. It was pouring rain. And we thought maybe we weren't going to even get the motorcycle shot that night, which is like the only time we were going to be able to get it. So I guess it was kind of cursed, but like it worked out. There was just a lot of curveballs, so it all worked out in the end. Yeah, movie magic for sure. Here's another.
We're shooting a music video right now and it's going fucking crazy.
Yeah. Just intense. Wouldn't let up for hours. But yeah, I'm glad we did manage to get one shot. We had to leave it in. We did manage to get one shot of the lightning strike behind me, which was cool. And then the curse continued. So Chris let me, he said, he gave me the green light to talk about this because it was at the time pretty traumatizing. So the we had this whole separate shoot where we did the shots of me inside the room, the plastic room, the narcissist room, whatever you want to call it. And so that was scheduled early in the morning on some Sunday in August. And the night before, Chris, my partner, he was victim to a phishing scam. And so a lot of his money, a very big amount of money, got completely wiped out of his account. And so we spent the majority of the night going at the police precinct trying to get paperwork filed. Very stressful. And I didn't sleep really at all that night. I slept maybe an hour. So when you see me in the music video, I don't know if I actually have any more BTS stuff, but yeah, it was rough. It was rough. So I woke up in the morning. I was disheveled. I was cranky. I was putting up my hair. I was doing my anal bead hair, as people like to call it, the classic Vitesse X bead hair, but I couldn't get it right. I was really struggling. I was struggling, and it was like I kind of managed to get it together, but I was really not feeling myself. And so when we got into the studio, I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe, we only get one shot really, we're shooting on film. And this has to look right. So all of those shots you see me, I'm pushing through so much distress. First of all, I don't feel like I look good. I don't feel good. Don't feel good about the future. I'm in my head about pretty much everything. So it's been nice hearing nice words about it, because I don't think I conveyed any of those emotions in the film. But I was also maybe this works. Maybe these emotions that I'm feeling kind of work for the message of the song too. And I was channeling it. I was okay, use these feelings, these angsty feelings, and channel it into the messaging of the song. So that's what I did. Like an actor would. Not that I'm very new to this thing, but that's what I try to do. So, yeah. As I said, quite cursed. But look, it all worked out in the end, and beauty can emerge from the ashes. So, let that be a story of resilience. It is for me. When stuff like this happens and you look back, it's kind of funny now. I can laugh about it now. So it's, and I can see that and be like, okay, there's not much worse that can happen. But then I say that, and then life likes to really throw some more curveballs your way. But yes, the vid looked great, and I'm super happy, and I'm super grateful for the entire team that worked with me. It was very fun, and I'd love to work with them again. So check out their other stuff. Definitely recommend. What more can I say? Please ask any questions. Well, throw all of your pity to Chris. Don't throw it to me. Chris is the real victim here. Yeah, please ask any questions. Ask about my silver pants. But yeah, all of the fitting, all of the costume, all of that was done by Manran as well. So they really killed it. Chris did not get his money back. The thing with phishing scams, it's different than, because you can have certain banking companies and all that. They can have protections in place, especially if you pay premium for those types of services, but not with phishing scams, because it's basically a situation where you are supplying the information to these people. And when that happens, there's very little chance you can get your money back. So, and and they're getting smarter and smarter. I know last year it was kind of running rampant. A lot of people fell victim to these scams because they're getting so good at it. Yeah, it's scary. Watch out. If you ever get a call that's like saying there's fraudulent activity, anything, what you need to do is be like, okay, hang up, and then call directly to your bank and make sure that it's actually a real thing. That's my recommendation. But it's dangerous out there. I got my identity stolen a couple years ago. I got someone got their tax returns through my name. So that was crazy. But I did in that circumstance, I did get I got my identity back. So that's good. Yeah, and it's funny because, when stuff like this happens, it's so real and it's so dark for a second. But then I look back and I'm like, damn, I should have been, should have gone on a stream and talked about this. Makes for a good story, Yeah. My next New York City show. Good question, because I wish I had the flyer. But yes, I did soft announce a show that I will be performing May 1st. It's going to be really fun. It's with Pedal Supply and Swords. There's another artist on the bill. I can't remember the name. I don't have the information on me. But yeah, I'm playing a show on May 1st. Chris, if you want to share the details on that, it's in Manhattan. It's going to be maybe my first Vitesse X show in Manhattan, if I'm remembering correctly. So that could be cool. Very cool. And I'll try my best to get some of these newer songs thrown in the mix. Hopefully. Yep, Pedal Supply. Yeah, that's going to be cool. It's a very good bill. It's very fun. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm just so desperately trying to wrap up this record that it's very hard for my brain to be anywhere else. But my plan is, as soon as this record is wrapped, I'm going to be going very hard with getting my live set spruced up, maybe getting some more instrumental components to it. Between you and me, I'm really looking to add some live drums. I've always heard that with my stuff, especially with the breakbeat stuff. I'm like, this just needs some live drums. I got to find the right drummer for that because, that can be difficult. But I just want it to feel like a live show. I want it to have that energy. So I don't know if that'll be the case for this next show, but I'm always adding more guitar and bass stuff at the very least. So yeah, come through if you're in the New York area. I think it's on a weekday, May 1st. Possibly on a weekday. Yes, it's on a Wednesday. It's actually 1, 2, 3. It's only 3 weeks from now. Yeah, 3 weeks exactly. So come through. It's gonna be fun. I am planning some stuff in the future as well. So keep your ear out for that. And yes, come to Detroit. I know. I would love to. Birthplace of techno. It's true. It is true. Yes, I would love to. Definitely on my list. Chicago, birth of house. That is true as well. I did play Chicago 2 years ago. During New Year's, which was really fun. I have been talking to my booking agent about hitting Chicago soonish. So, crossing my fingers. Crossing my fingers. Maryland. Well, yeah. People, yeah, I can't say I go to Maryland often. But the tour will be upon us as soon as this record's done. That is the plan. Vitesse, yeah, I want a mosh pit. That's really my ultimate goal, because for me, I've been talking about this a lot, but I started playing in bands when I moved down to Virginia for 3 years, and I was just a part of this really vibrant DIY scene. And it was like this entire ecosystem built around house shows. And every show you go to, it doesn't matter who's playing, what sound, people were so grateful to be a part of a community and so grateful to be listening to music all together that no matter what, they just went crazy. And they would mosh, and we had mattresses. People would mattress surf. I would mattress surf. I would mosh like crazy. Back then, I was a heavy mosher. I have videos and photos of me with bloody lips and stuff that I'll pull up one of these days. So for me, that's like created a standard that of what a live show needs to be, and I haven't let that standard go. So I think like I'm just looking for a way to get that energy back, even if I'm playing like a bigger room. There's something about that, yeah, just that like liveliness, that enthusiasm that I think is so important. And it's, it's my job as an artist to find ways to kind of be orchestrating that. And I think having live drums will help. That's my plan. So I'm excited, but I have to get the album done first. I gotta keep my brain in one place. Sacramento, yes, I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down in the air, but I'm remembering. San Francisco, Oakland, yeah. I haven't been to I haven't played a show in San Francisco since I played in a band. That band that I played in 2016 called Heavenly Beat. That was the last time I played in San Francisco, and it was actually our biggest show. It was really cool. It was fun. So I'd like to come back. Record when? Within the year. That's all I'll say. Because there are some things I got to finish up before I can make any definitive statements. I don't want to lead people on. So, but 2024. Yes, that is the plan. Yeah, mattress surfing. I should always have those photos on deck because I talk about this a lot. But yeah, there's photos of me on top of the mattress. It's like you see people's hands just lifting up the mattress, and it's so much safer. Like, it really should be the way to do it. It's safer for everyone. No inappropriate touching. If you fall, you're probably going to fall right on the mattress. So that's safe. It's just great. Super fun. An artist you saw live tape some fireworks to their hands. Ooh. I don't know if I'm going to try that one. If you asked me back in 2013 when I was playing in punk bands in that DIY scene, I'd be a lot more interested, but not this time around. Not enough live breakbeat drums. Yeah, I'm seeing it come into fruition more though. Like, I'm seeing, I'm just stumbling upon DJs who like will incorporate it into their sets and stuff. So, I think the wave is coming, but I want to be a part of that wave. Ride a motorcycle on stage? Yeah. Like the poser I am. Well, I didn't want to be on for too long. So, if you have any more questions for me, I'll just like leave the chat going for a sec. But I feel like I don't have the energy to ramble for 2 hours this time. It's been a long couple weeks of just grinding in the studio, between that and fitting that into my work schedule and everything. And it's a marathon sprint. It's a lot. It's very taxing on your body. So interesting how you can just be like sitting for hours upon hours on end, and it just, you're done and you feel like you've had a workout. That's been my experience lately in the studio. I mean, I guess like I'm getting inadvertently getting my fingers kind of worked out on my guitar, trying out so many different things for like hours, which is good. My fingers will be jacked after this, I'm hoping. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, star drummer. No, I've met him. I went to the movies with him last year, with a group of people. Yeah, he does the best jungle breaks that I've seen, for sure. Live drumming jungle breaks. Star Power Drummer is his Instagram tag. Everyone should check him out. He's like so mind-blowingly good. But yeah, he's like top tier. So maybe eventually I'll hit him, but I think he's probably got a lot of people hitting him up for the same thing. He's a very sweet guy. Oh, I did want to, before I leave, I did want to mention one thing that I've been thinking about, and I want to like run it past you guys, I guess. But I've been considering doing a Patreon in the near future. And I was kind of like hesitant to even consider this, because I was like, what's the point? You're just like asking people for money? What? Like, but now I'm kind of realizing that with the way that social media has been working, I feel like there's this, the algorithm is like working against you to like have this like direct communication with you and your listeners, your fans. It feels like there's just kind of barrier to entry now with everything. It's like you can make a post and like people don't even, the people that follow you don't even see the post. It's kind of crazy how things are working. And so I'm like, okay, well, aside from streaming, I think it would be nice to have a place to actually have more of like this direct community engagement thing between me and you guys and my other people that listen to my music, and not just like me sharing things, but also having a way for people to share things back in a very direct kind of like closed way, where also it's like I can test the waters with some stuff without randos coming in, because I think everything else is so public, and it's like stuff can get your content can get kind of sent to the wrong people sometimes. And so it'd be nice to just have like a closed place to have these types of interactions. But I was thinking, there's so much stuff that I don't share for the reason I was talking about. There's so much stuff I don't share on like public display, because a lot of times it doesn't really get fed to the right people, and I don't like feeling that vulnerable. So it's like, behind the scenes type stuff, or work in progress type music, demos, stuff, and not like the demo I posted, like real demos that like weren't totally fully formed. Stuff like that. And so I've been kind of considering doing a Patreon for that reason, so that I can have a place really for that. And also I would just be curious, like, if there's anything any of you guys would be interested, just anything you'd be interested in that maybe I'm not thinking of, whether it's like, vinyl pressings or, yeah. The Discord thing is true. I could probably start my own Discord, although I have the music website Discord. If you're not on the music website Discord, I would hop on there, because there is a lot of production talk and just like stuff going on behind the scenes there. That's typically where I am on Discord, is on the music website. So I've been trying to keep it all on the label front on Discord, just to keep everyone in one place there. Yes, and session breakdowns. Thank you for mentioning that. That was a big thing. I think that session breakdowns would be best suited for something like that. I definitely wouldn't want to do that on the public display. And also stems as well. So a lot of people hit me up for stems, because they want to take a stab at remixing stuff. So I thought, for that, stems, session breakdowns, and also work in progress tracks. So I was thinking it would be fun to have a way to kind of share stuff that I'm working on for an upcoming record, an upcoming release that hasn't been finished yet, and kind of show the progress and maybe get some feedback on stuff I'm working on. So yeah. So I don't have a personal Discord, but the music website Discord, if you go to our Instagram, that might be the easiest place to get it. Or if Chris wants to shoot a link in the chat. But our music website Instagram is it's music website _ and then the Discord link is like the first story bubble, if you want to hop in there. But it's fun. You get to talk not just to me, but all the other artists on the roster too. We got DBI and Germs and Tapeworms. So it's really fun. You can talk about production with them too. Anyway, just want to throw that out there. It's something I've been thinking about, and I'll probably still kind of brew over it in the next few weeks. But hit me up if you have any requests. No cassette releases for the near future, but always in the horizon. Thank you, Chris. VPix. Maybe. I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay. Well, any last words before I probably call it early tonight? Because I need to get some beauty sleep so I can finish 3 tracks within the next week and a half. That's my plan. Yeah, I'm gonna need all of the energy I can find. I have I'm really excited about the stuff I'm working on, but it's just like, you just gotta get through that. It's always what they say, 90% of the track is the easiest, and then that last 10%, yeah, that's where I am with everything. Vitesse X. Yeah, that's a good that would be a good username for like a, what's it, Feet Finder? I have like an OnlyFans for feet. Okay, I'm going to go and walk my dog, but it was great hanging out in the chat with you guys, like always. I'll probably be back soon. I have a new song. I have a new single coming out fairly soon. So keep your eyes and ears out for that. But in the meantime, listen to the track, watch the music video, and come to my show in May 1st, if you're in the area. And stay tuned for new music website stuff too. There's a lot of new music website releases coming up that I'm very excited about. So stay tuned. Okay. Bye. Love you guys.